You know, we make a lot of monsters around here.
I do.
And we use a lot of different tools to do it.
Yeah.
But recently, we discovered a new tool that really intrigued us, a customizable multi-tool called the Roxon Flex.
Yes.
So let's see if we can use the Roxon Flex to make a monster.
So the Roxon Flex is like your basic multi-tool, where different tools flip out from the handle. What's different about the Flex is you can customize it with the tools of your choice. Take out the Phillips head, put in the scissors, take out the Wait, why?
What?
You cut yourself almost daily around
well,
here.
I try
Why
not
would you
to.
put all the sharp tools in the handle of that thing?
Look, Michelle.
There's going to be an accident.
We're making monsters here. We're not baking cupcakes.
Okay.
Things are going to get a little rough. Just get the Band-Aids ready.
All right.
First thing we got to do is build the monster a home. So I grabbed some foam sheets, and this is where I'd normally use a craft knife or even a utility knife, but I opted for the large scalpel blade in the Flex.
And it worked like a charm.
Absolutely no problem.
Good.
And we have some scalpel blades in the shop that are very similar to the classic number 11 that most Olfas and X-Actos use. So this is literally a one-to-one trade-off. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Good tool, solid tool.
So now you have to cut the basswood for the base.
Yeah.
And I know that we've done this before with the laser cutter.
Right.
And the Dremel.
Yeah.
I think the utility knife.
Yeah, and it's not exactly a straight cut.
Right.
Because we're building the crumbling walls of a Gothic castle. And I know I could have used the knife blade.
Right.
But this is an experiment. We're a little like mad scientists here. So I thought, let's take out the knife and put in the saw.
Ah, the saw.
The saw.
And how did that go?
Well, I'll let you see the saw for yourself. Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
This is a family channel.
I was having difficulties.
That does not seem like the right tool for the
It's
job.
not. It's absolutely not. Look, you know what? When you see these guys on YouTube using these saws,
Yeah.
they're doing bushcraft, they're camping,
Right.
Or even the people on Alone on the History Channel.
love that show.
I love that show. So you know what they're doing is straight, rough cuts on tree limbs and branches,
Yes.
and it works phenomenally for that. It's
Yeah,
a
it
good
does.
saw. It's a very sharp saw. But to make delicate curves on a floppy sheet of basswood,
Yeah.
I would sooner use my teeth to chew it off next time.
So you put the knife back in.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the Flex. If you have the tools in your kit, you just switch them out.
So you just use the sheep's foot blade the same way you use the Ulfa or the Fastback.
Exactly.
Just dragging it along the curve.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 16th inch basswood maybe.
Yeah.
So it's not super thick.
Right.
So a few passes, and boom.
Yeah.
We have the beginnings of our Gothic castle walls.
Nice.
Another tool I picked up for the Flex was the awl. I wanted to maybe add some very basic lighting to this later, so I need a hole in the wall to feed the wires through.
I'm guessing maybe you would have gotten out the Dremel for
The
this.
Dremel, maybe the drill, you know.
Right, but with the awl, you can just press and twist,
Yeah.
and now you have a hole for the wires.
Yeah.
Good tool.
Got the job done. Now, about those wires. The chisel tool has a wire stripper on it that I found very frustrating.
It's not the type of wire stripper we're used to.
No, we use a different kind, and
Yeah.
eventually I got this one to work, but I'm really going to need more practice with that.
Watching you blow it with the wire stripper,
All right.
I should probably mention,
You try it.
this is just an experiment.
Yeah.
It's not like we grab a multi-tool whenever we need a tool.
No, we have shelves of boxes and cases of tools that we use that are probably much more appropriate for everything we're doing here.
Sometimes, though, a multi-tool works just fine.
Yeah.
And has lots of options.
Yeah, and that said, with the right tool options, you could probably load up a Flex so that it's a very useful multi-tool for working on art or crafting something.
Here's a good tool option. The blank.
Yeah, Roxon offers a couple blank templates, so if you have the right equipment, you can cut and grind your own custom tool.
Yeah, but we got it because we didn't want to screw up the flathead screwdriver using it as a pry tool. And the blank is a perfect pry tool.
Yeah, it really does work well for that.
So of course, we couldn't complete this entire project using only the Flex.
No.
We used paintbrushes, sandpaper, an airbrush, sculpting tools, all kinds of things that the Flex just doesn't cover.
Yeah, but I was thinking, if you could put any tool on the Flex to make it more art-focused, what would you add? Right?
I think you would have to narrow down the discipline.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who is it? Flex Cut? That has the carving jack?
Yeah, right. The carving jack is basically a wood carving multi-tool.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
Thank you.
So you needle felt.
Yeah.
So what would you put in a multi-tool that you would keep on your needle felting workspace?
Okay, I already have the KS2E out when I felt because the scissors are amazing.
They're great scissors.
Yeah, I'm constantly using the tweezers to clear out random organic matter from the wool.
And I've seen you do it.
Yeah.
Because the tweezers are right in the scissors. And no, the Flex does not have a tweezer option yet.
No.
So that's a good idea. Anything else?
Yeah, I use an awl to pierce and make holes in the felt, but it's the classic, like, ice pick type awl.
You would think that they could make a tool like that for the Flex.
I know. Grind one out of the blank.
Grind one out of the blank.
Right now I keep the KS2E on the desk for the scissors and the tweezers, a Roxon for the pliers and wire cutters.
For your armatures.
And I have an awl for making holes.
Okay.
If you could get all of that in a Flex, that's a lot less real estate.
All right, let's make this monster.
Okay.
It was not even a question in our minds which monster was best suited for this experiment. It is, of course, the Frankenstein monster.
Of course.
And that's because, just go with me here, Frankenstein is kind of like a multi-tool himself.
Oh, this ought to be insightful.
Just hear me out. The Frankenstein monster is made up of all different parts from different places.
Okay.
And they come together in unison to form a working whole. He's not just one guy, he's a small crowd.
Yes.
Much in the way that a multi-tool isn't just one tool, it's a little toolbox. A knife, a saw, a can opener.
Yeah.
So yeah, Frankenstein is basically the multi-tool of monsters. Much like your wool sculptures, my clay figures start with an armature.
Oh, yeah.
So it was time for me to try out the wire cutters on the Flex.
They're good.
They're solid.
They get the job done. And they're replaceable.
Yeah.
And the Flex ships with the replacement cutters in case anything goes south.
Yeah, which is highly probable with us.
Yes.
So, people that watch this channel might be surprised to learn that two art dork hermits enjoy YouTube channels and shows that deal with survival, camping, bushcraft, outdoor gear, and tools. But, you know, we both enjoy horror movies.
Yeah.
And it's not like we want to be chased by a guy with a hockey mask and a machete.
No.
We like what we like. And
Yeah.
sometimes that is survival shows and gear reviews.
You literally haven't been outside in a week.
Well, there's bugs outside.
Yes.
Anyway, there are a few channels on YouTube that do gear reviews, and we watch and listen and often make purchases based on the expert opinions of those people.
Yeah.
That's why we do it. So we'll try to link some of those channels in the info, and I'll also throw in the Roxon site in case you want to do more research on your own into the Flex.
So you asked me what tools I'd add to the Flex for needle felting.
Yeah.
What about clay sculpting? Would you want any sculpting tools in the Flex?
I don't know. I think it would be handy to have them all in one place, but the way I work, I'm picking up a ball stylus, I'm dropping it. I'm grabbing a silicone shaper, using it, I'm dropping it. I'm throwing that down, I'm getting a pin tool. I don't know if I want to keep folding and unfolding tools out of a multi-tool frame.
Right.
So maybe not every tool is a good one to stick in a multi-tool. But as it is, I use the pliers, the wire cutters, the knife, the scissors, the screwdrivers, the wire stripper.
Kind of.
I've used the scalpels to cut foam, wood, and watercolor paper.
Wow, it might already be perfect for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it had a cylindrical awl, like you like, and a tweezers, maybe a narrower chisel.
Okay.
And I needed one the other night. And possibly a pin vise chuck to hold tiny little drill bits.
Yeah.
It might be about perfect to keep on the desk.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see I used the pliers to take out the blistering hot oven thermometer.
Yeah.
Learned that lesson the hard way. And I also used them to remove the monster from the oven.
Okay.
And I baked him in stages because that old oven is the size of a sardine can.
Right.
Then it was time to airbrush the figure. And because nobody else ever checks, I used the Flex to tighten some of the connections on the hose because I could clearly hear air
my God,
hissing.
with the tightening.
It's hissing. I'm the only one that ever does it. Do you not hear the hiss?
Oh, I'm hearing the hiss.
All right.
You know, I too had to use the pliers because I wanted to clean the airbrush.
Thank
and
you.
someone, Lord knows who, had to screw on the head cap so tight I felt like it was
You know,
glued on.
did you hear any hissing? You didn't hear any hissing.
It's like opening a pickle jar. By the way, the same way you had trouble with the saw and wire strippers,
Yeah.
I found the scissors were maybe not meant for all the different fabric we were cutting.
Yeah, I mean, they cut paper really well. They cut paracord.
I've seen them cut seatbelt fabric,
Yeah.
maybe zip ties.
Yeah, but that weird polyester and that faux Sherpa did not cooperate.
To be fair, you don't run across too much of that stuff in the wild.
Yeah, but, this is all just an experiment
Yeah.
to see what the Flex can do. And honestly, it did get the job done eventually.
Yeah, it did.
It just took a little finesse.
Also, I know we put at least 6 tools in the frame that could cut rope and twine.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to use that pull hook.
Well, good. Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
Good.
And it cut really well.
Yeah.
It's very sharp. I like that tool.
All right, I'm going to tally up the number of times we used the Roxon Flex during this process.
Okay.
And while I do that, let's take a look at our creation.
Oh, I forgot to mention. One of my favorite things. The Flex has spring-loaded handles. I love that.
I know you like that, but how do you like the Flexenstein monster?
I really like how he turned out.
He's fun.
His diorama base looks great.
Yeah.
Nice job on the torch fire.
It's just hot glue.
Yeah.
Hot glue and an LED. Maybe I'm off my rocker.
You are.
But it looks like we're about to film a Rankin Bass Halloween special.
Yes.
And for the record, we used the Flex 30 separate times
Wow.
during this project where we could have used another tool.
Yeah.
Plus, we had it on the workbench all month and used some of the other tools in other projects.
Right. I know we used the chisel, the flathead screwdriver.
Yeah.
And you tried the crosscut and diamond files too.
Yeah.
So a very handy tool.
So the Flexenstein monster is alive!
He's alive!
He's alive! And I'm pretty happy with him, actually.
Me too. I like everything about him.
Yeah, well, not everybody's that happy.
No.
There is a mob of multi-tool villagers forming outside the castle right now. And they think Flexenstein is an abomination!
Oh no!
Yes!
And I bet they all have knives too.
Yes, they all definitely have knives of varying qualities of steel. It's not looking good for our monster.
Well, he doesn't have to face them alone.
No?
I used the Flex to make another monster.
Oh, really?
Here she is, the bride of Flexenstein.
Good Lord.
Who's this creep? Get me out of here!
Nice hair, by the way. Very nice hair. Okay, silliness aside, I had a lot of fun conducting this experiment with you. What's your final review of the Flex?
I like it.
Yeah.
I think we should keep it on the bench.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what new tools they come out with.
Me too. What if they started offering tiny little fright wigs?
That's a great idea.
Right?
If they want a lawsuit.
All right, pump the brakes.
Do you think we're the only people that dress up their multi-tools?
No, I'm pretty sure everybody does it.